I lay in bed, covers pulled to my chin, my mum asleep beside me. She'd come in because of the storm. Narrator. The night was thick with darkness, swallowing the street lamps outside. I heard a voice, my mum's voice, but she was right next to me, breathing slow and steady. Narrator. The wind howled, rain hammered the window, and then another sound. My heart pounded. The voice came from downstairs, but my mum hadn't moved. S3. Emily, can you come here? I need your help. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe I imagined it. Narrator. I lay still, listening, only the storm and my mum's breathing.
Emily, please, I've fallen. I'm at the bottom of the stairs. Narrator. But deep down, I knew it wasn't the wind.
The storm raged, but inside, a colder fear settled. S1. The voice was desperate. My mom's voice, but not her. I almost ran to help, but my mom was right there. Suddenly, her eyes snapped open. She looked at me, pale with fear. She put a finger to her lips. The darkness pressed in, and the voice waited below. S1. I realized something was pretending to be my mom. That was the only thing keeping us safe. S1. I didn't move. I didn't answer.
I clung to my mum's silent warning. The voice in the night was not hers, and it was still calling my name.
My mum sat up silent and squeezed my hand, cold and trembling.
We both knew the voice downstairs wasn't her.
Don't answer it, she whispered. No matter what you hear.
I nodded, too scared to speak.
Emily, why aren't you helping me? I'm hurt, please, darling.
The voice cried, heartbreakingly real.
Part of me wanted to believe it, but I stayed put.
This wasn't the first time. My mom told me stories. Her mother, her grandmother, all haunted by a voice that learned our names.
It knows your name now, she whispered. It's your turn.
I saw fear in her eyes, but also strength. She'd survived this.
Now it was my turn to be strong.
We waited in the dark, listening to the monster that wore my mother's voice.
The house felt like a trap, every shadow hiding a threat.
I gripped my mum's hand tighter.
The voice kept calling, but we did not answer.
We waited for morning.
That was the only way to survive. She heard her husband's voice from the barn, though he was miles away. S1. We call it the mimic. My great-grandmother was the first to survive it. She warned her daughter, never trust a voice in the night. S1. She locked the doors and didn't answer.
She remembered the warning and stayed in bed. S2. My mum heard it too, her father's voice calling from the garden.
But she remembered. Her mother never baked at night. Narrator. My mum almost opened the door for her own mother's voice, lured by the smell of biscuits.
A legacy of fear passed from mother to daughter. S1. Now, the echo had found me. It was my inheritance. It waited for a mistake, just one answer. S1. The mimic learned our voices, our trust. That's how it hunted us. S1. It only needed you to answer once.
And now it was my turn. Our family has rules, passed down in whispers. Rule 1. After dark, never answer your name from another room.
Rule 2. If you hear a loved one's voice, find them. See them with your own eyes.
That's why my mum came to my room during the storm.
Rule 3. Never open a door to a voice you don't trust.
A door is safety. Once you open it, you're lost.
Rule 4. Wait for the sun. The mimic can't survive the day.
No matter what you hear, wait for dawn.
The rules are simple, but hard to follow when you're scared.
We watch the clock, minute by minute.
When the sun rises, the voices stop.
But we know it will be back.
The rules are all that keep us safe.
And tonight we followed them. My Uncle Robert disappeared before I was born.
No one liked to talk about him, but I learned the truth. He answered the mimic.
Robert was kind. One night, he heard his father's voice from the garden.
He forgot the rules. He ran to the back door.
His mother screamed, "It's not him! Your father is at work!"
But Robert opened the door and stepped into the darkness.
His mother saw him walk across the lawn, calling out.
From the darkness, a voice answered, a sound not human.
She slammed the door, locked it. Robert was never seen again.
They searched for weeks, not a trace.
The mimic took him.
That's why we follow the rules.
One mistake and you're gone.
My uncle's story is our warning.
The mimic waits for someone to forget.
We never forget.
Not anymore.
Not after Robert.
Never after Robert.
The mimic tried new voices. My father's, my grandmother's.
My mum squeezed my hand, warning me.
The voices sounded so real, so full of love and fear.
My dad was away. My grandma lived across town. Impossible. But the mimic was perfect.
Then a young man's voice, faint, lost.
My mum gasped. "It's Robert," she whispered.
The mimic had kept his voice, a horrible souvenir.
The voices overlapped. Mom, Dad, Grandma, Robert, all calling my name.
It was a symphony of terror, each voice a hook.
The mimic was no longer one voice. It was a crowd.
A ghost of my whole family, swirling around me.
It knew who we loved and how to use that love.
I clung to my mum, refusing to answer.
The mimic grew louder, more desperate.
But we stayed silent.
That was our only defense.
The chorus faded as dawn approached.
But the fear remained.
The mimic would try again.
It always does.
The storm faded, leaving a heavy silence.
The house felt like it was holding its breath.
We sat on the bed, staring at the door.
Then a soft scratching, patient, persistent.
The scratching stopped. A whisper came through the keyhole. It was my own voice. "Emily, let me in."
My mom pulled me close, shaking.
The mimic had never used my voice before.
Now it was copying me.
"It's me, Emily. I'm locked out. Please open the door."
It sounded exactly like me, confused, scared.
The mimic was evolving, learning.
It was trying to become part of our family.
It was trying to become me.
And it was just on the other side of the door.
I didn't answer.
That was all I could do.
The mimic waited, whispering.
But I stayed silent.
I would not let it in. The voices started again, a wall of sound, all my family calling for me.
My mum's grip was iron, keeping me from answering.
Then a new voice, my little brother Leo. "Emily, I had a bad dream. Can I come in?"
The mimic had never used his voice before.
It sounded so real, so innocent. I almost got out of bed.
"No!" my mum hissed, snapping me back.
I froze, realizing how close I'd come to breaking the rules.
"Emily, please, I'm scared."
Was it really Leo or the creature? I looked at my mum, her eyes wide with terror.
The mimic would use anyone, even a child.
I pulled my leg back onto the bed.
It was the closest I'd ever come to being lost.
I almost answered.
That's all it needed.
But I remembered the rules.
Silence was survival.
I stayed quiet.
The voices faded as dawn approached.
I had survived the night.
But the mimic would try again.
Dawn finally came. The voices faded with the light.
My dad called from his hotel, his real voice, safe and far away.
Leo woke up, said he'd slept all night. He'd never left his room.
The voice had been a lie.
We stayed home, exhausted and shaken.
As night fell again, a new fear settled in me. The mimic had used my voice. It had almost tricked me. I went to the bathroom, stared at my reflection. My eyes looked tired, but something felt wrong.
What if the mimic didn't need to trick you into opening the door? What if it just needed you to answer?
I had whispered Leo's name. I'd broken the first rule. I looked closer at my reflection. My eyes, were they really mine?
A slow smile spread across my reflection's lips. It was not my smile.
The girl in the mirror put a finger to her lips. My voice whispered from the mirror, "Don't answer."
But it was too late.
The echo had found a new home. It was me.
And tonight I would call for my mother.
She would always open the door for me.
The mimic never stops.